Let me ask you a question that might be the most important question you have ever been asked about money. If someone handed you $1 million right now, not a loan, not a catch, not a competition prize with strings attached, just $1 million deposited directly into your account today, where would that money be in 5 years? Most people do not want to answer that honestly, because deep down, many of them already sense the answer, and the research confirms what they suspect. The majority of lottery winners are broke within 3 to 5 years of winning. Most people who receive large inheritances spend through them within a decade. Bankruptcy rates among professional athletes, people who earned tens of millions of dollars across their careers, are genuinely staggering. These are not people who lacked opportunity. These are not people who lacked resources. They had more money arrive in their lives than most people will see in multiple lifetimes, and they lost it. Not because they were stupid, not because they were unlucky, not because the economy turned against them at precisely the wrong moment. They lost it because money did not fix the real problem. And the real problem was never the money, it was the blueprint. Harv Eker spent years trying to understand why some people build wealth and hold on to it across an entire lifetime, and why others earn fortunes and lose them. The answer is not in your bank account. It is not in your investment strategy, your salary, your business model, or your spending habits. The answer is in your mind, specifically in a set of deeply buried beliefs, patterns, and programs about money that were installed in you long before you were old enough to question any of them. Eker calls this your money blueprint, and in this book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, he shows you exactly how that blueprint was formed and why it is controlling your financial life. This is video 3 of the Money Mastery Program. We covered mindset in video 1 with Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We covered the power of directed thought in video 2 with Think and Grow Rich. Now in video 3, we go one level deeper still, all the way to the root, to the specific beliefs and automatic responses that were wired into you in childhood. First, you need to understand who Harv Eker actually is, because this is not a book written from a position of lifelong privilege or inherited wealth. This is a book written from the wreckage of repeated failure by someone who worked hard and still could not figure out why the results kept coming out the same. In his 20s and 30s, Eker was a believer in self-improvement. He read the books, he attended the seminars, he applied himself across multiple business ventures, and every single one failed. He would get something moving, and then, almost as if an invisible hand were pulling a plug, things would fall apart, the money would disappear. Then came the moment everything shifted. A wealthy friend of his father's said, "Harv, if you're not doing well, there's something you don't know." Gradually, he understood what they were pointing toward. The gap was not in his strategy. It was not in his effort. The gap was in something invisible. He started studying the psychology of wealth. He began comparing how wealthy people thought about money versus how people who struggled financially thought about money. The central discovery is captured in a single formula. Your programming leads to your thoughts. Your thoughts lead to your feelings. Your feelings lead to your actions. And your actions lead to your results. Every financial outcome in your life is the last step in a chain that began with programming, with beliefs and patterns installed in you largely during childhood. Most people spend their entire lives trying to change the last step, the results, while never touching the first step. The results drift back because the programming has not changed. So how was your money blueprint actually formed? Eker identifies 3 specific channels that operated before you were a teenager. The first channel is verbal conditioning. This is everything you heard people say about money while you were growing up. Casual, repeated phrases that shaped the atmosphere. Did you hear, "Money does not grow on trees"? "We cannot afford that"? "Rich people are greedy"? "Money is the root of all evil"? Every one of those phrases landed in your subconscious mind like a seed in wet soil. They grow into beliefs that shape decisions in ways you cannot easily see. The people who delivered those messages almost certainly meant no harm. They were passing on exactly what had been passed on to them. The second channel is modeling. This is not what you were told. This is what you watched. The actual financial behavior of the adults around you. Did they manage money carefully or spend freely? Was money a source of conflict and fear, or did it feel manageable and safe? Whether or not you ever made a conscious decision, you absorbed them. We observe the people closest to us and build our internal picture of how the world works. The third channel is specific incidents. Individual experiences, sometimes dramatic, that created lasting emotional associations with money. Maybe you watched parents have a frightened argument about debt, or felt shame for not affording what others had. These incidents created emotional associations that live in your nervous system. Emotional associations operate faster than conscious thought. If money is associated with danger or pain, that association will override your intellectual knowledge every single time. This is why genuinely intelligent, hardworking people never build lasting wealth. It is a blueprint problem. And you cannot fix a blueprint problem with a strategy solution. Now here is the concept at the very heart of this entire book. Eker calls it the financial thermostat. Think about how a thermostat works. You set it to a temperature. If something external changes the temperature, the thermostat responds automatically, bringing the room back to its setting. Your internal relationship with money works in exactly the same way. You developed an internal financial set point that feels like normal. When circumstances push your finances above your set point, something unconscious begins working against the gain. Spending increases. Opportunities get missed. The situation drifts back. When circumstances push your finances below your set point, effort intensifies. Creativity increases. Solutions appear. The situation recovers back to the set point. This explains why lottery winners lose wealth and why wealthy people who lose fortunes so frequently rebuild. Their thermostat is set high. The only thing that actually changes the thermostat is deliberately working on the programming that set it in the first place. That is what the wealth files are designed to do. Eker presents 17 specific contrasts between how wealthy people think and how poor and middle-class people think. These are the wealth files. Wealth File 1. Rich people believe they create their life. Poor people believe life happens to them. Ownership versus victimhood. This is the master file. Wealth File 2. Rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play it not to lose. One orientation builds, the other shrinks. Wealth File 3. Rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people want to be rich. Wanting is passive. Commitment is active. Wealth File 4. Rich people think big. Poor people think small. Your income is proportional to the number of people you serve and the value you create. Wealth File 5. Rich people focus on opportunities. Poor people focus on obstacles. One asks, "How do I make this work?" The other asks, "What could go wrong?" Wealth File 6. Rich people admire other rich people. Poor people resent them. Resentment tells your subconscious that being wealthy is bad. Wealth File 7. Rich people associate with positive, successful people. Poor people associate with negative people. This shapes your baseline of what feels achievable. Wealth File 8. Rich people are willing to promote themselves. Poor people think negatively about selling. Value that cannot be communicated is value not compensated. Wealth File 9. Rich people are bigger than their problems. Poor people are smaller than their problems. The issue is always your capacity and resilience. Wealth File 10. Rich people are excellent receivers. Poor people are poor receivers. If you are not comfortable receiving, you will unconsciously deflect wealth. Wealth File 11. Rich people get paid based on results. Poor people get paid based on time. A salary is a ceiling. Results have no limit. Wealth File 12. Rich people think both. Poor people think either or. You can be wealthy and generous. You can have both. Wealth File 13. Rich people focus on net worth. Poor people focus on working income. Net worth is the actual measurement of financial health. Wealth File 14. Rich people manage their money well. Poor people mismanage it. Habits built when amounts are small attract larger amounts. Wealth File 15. Rich people have their money work hard for them. Poor people work hard for their money. Every dollar is a potential asset. Wealth File 16. Rich people act in spite of fear. Poor people let fear stop them. Action is the antidote to fear. Wealth File 17. Rich people constantly learn and grow. Poor people think they already know. Permanent curiosity predicts sustained success. Understanding these files is the beginning. The real work is changing them. Eker gives us a 4-step process. Step 1 is awareness. You cannot change what you cannot see. Catch a poverty file in the moment it runs. Step 2 is understanding. Trace the pattern back to its source. What did you hear or watch? It is a learned response, not a fact. Step 3 is disassociation. Separate your identity from the file. Say, this was their belief, not mine. I can choose to change it. Step 4 is reconditioning. Installing the new file. This requires repetition, emotion, and experience. Eker introduces declarations. Declarations are stated with force and conviction. Combined with new actions, they gradually overwrite the old programming with something that serves you. Here is your action step for this week. Write down 3 things you heard most often about money growing up. Messages absorbed before you could evaluate them. Next to each one, ask, is this actually true? Then write the wealth file that contradicts it. Write one clear, present-tense declaration for the new belief. Read those declarations every morning for 30 days, out loud, with real energy. This is a reprogramming of your thermostat. In video 4, we travel back to ancient Babylon. The Richest Man in Babylon contains the simplest, most timeless principles of wealth building ever written. If this video shifted something for you, share it with one person. Drop a comment. Which of the 17 wealth files did you recognize? Subscribe if you are not already with us. The Money Mastery program continues, and you are becoming someone different with every video.